Hey there, I'm Luke. Today we're going to talk about the 7 different steps in the IEP process and help define each one. Those steps of the IEP process are: number 1, pre-referral; number 2, referral; 3, identification; 4, eligibility; 5, development of the IEP; 6, implementation; and 7, reviews and reevaluations. Now, by the end of this short video, you'll start to have a grasp on how the lifeblood of special education, aka the IEP, actually works. And if you're preparing for your first IEP meeting, you'll understand the journey you're about to embark on. All of this and so much more on today's episode of Special Education Decoded. IEP is an acronym that's frequently thrown around in special education. IEP stands for Individualized Education Plan and is an essential part of the special education journey for every single eligible child throughout the United States. This process of obtaining one can be challenging, especially if you have no idea what steps are involved. Today, we're going to talk about those steps, which again are: number 1, pre-referral; number 2, referral; number 3, identification; 4, eligibility; 5, development of the IEP; 6, implementation; and 7, reviews and reevaluations. Let's start with step 1 of the IEP process, pre-referral. A pre-referral is used to avoid unnecessary evaluations and placements. Main objectives of the pre-referral stage of the IEP process are: to document the challenges and difficulties exhibited by the child, to evaluate the usefulness of the classroom accommodations and changes within the student's current classroom, to review the power of different instructional interventions, aka different ways of teaching, and finally, to supervise the development of the student. Let's cover some additional information about the pre-referral stage. Each school is required by law to identify children with special needs and support that child from ages 3 all the way to 21. A parent can bring concerns to the school or school district. Also, teachers have the ability to bring concerns to the school. And finally, early intervention services are available starting at age 3. It's important to note that during the pre-referral stage, teachers will try various certified teaching approaches in hopes of establishing whether flawed instruction could be the cause of the problems. Children whose learning remains challenged will be referred to the next step of the IEP process. Step 2, referral. This step takes place when the pre-referral attempts to correct the child's issues fail. This means the child is officially referred for special education services. During the referral process, information about the child is collected. This includes observations, students' work samples, grades, and testing scores. An array of data types, assessment instruments, and methods are used during this stage in order to create an accurate report later used to determine the correct path for the student. If the final decision is that the child has a disability that requires special education, then a baseline of performance is determined. Once an official referral has been made, information has been collected, the next step of the IEP process begins. That is step number 3, identification. The team meets to discuss the results of the strategies implemented and the interventions provided. This is where next steps are determined, and this could include sometimes that the next step is simply to continue with the interventions. Usually this happens only if they're working. If things being tried in the classroom aren't working, Most likely an evaluation will be ordered to see if your child has a disability that may require special education services. If an evaluation is needed, the team determines the most appropriate evaluation for your child. Times are set both to complete the evaluation and set the next meeting to review the results. The information gathered during the assessment stage is used to categorize those who have a disability and are eligible for special education services. The next step determines which services will be received. Step number 4, eligibility. During this step, the evaluation results are reviewed by the team, which of course includes the parents. The disability category will be determined and will be one of the following 13 categories: developmental delay, autism, speech and language impairment, specific learning disability, emotional disability, visual impairment, deafness, hearing, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, traumatic brain injury, or other health impairment. Now, students who do not meet the qualifications for special education services simply remain in the traditional classroom setting. For the children who do meet the qualifications, the next step takes place. Step number 5, the actual development of the IEP. First, an IEP team is formed. This team includes parents, educators, administrators, other specialists, and if a parent would like, they can bring a child advocate with them. This is the meeting where the actual IEP is formed. Part of the IEP requires that your child be placed in the least restrictive environment, or LRE. Lastly, specific goals are placed within the IEP document. Now, during the IEP meeting, resources required by the child are identified, their individual learning style determined, along with their goals, both long and short term. Once an IEP has been written and approved, the next step in the IEP process begins. Step number 6, implementation. Simply put, this is where the student's IEP and associated services commence. Also, from this point forward, the teachers at the school follow the accommodations and modifications outlined in the IEP. That completes the IEP development process. However, there's still one more very important step to the IEP process, and that is step number 7, reviews and re-evaluations. There are a few things to keep in mind as your child moves forward on their educational path. You will be meeting with the IEP team every year, as this document is required to be reviewed annually. However, at any time you see fit as a parent, you can request a review. During these reviews, the team will meet to discuss things such as your child's progress toward their goals, if the plan in place is currently working. If not, time to fix it. A reevaluation is required every 3 years and is used to determine if a child remains eligible for special education services. That brings us to the end of our 7 steps in an IEP process. To quickly recap, those 7 steps are: number 1, pre-referral; 2, referral; 3, identification; 4, eligibility; 5, development of the IEP; 6, implementation; 7, reviews and re-evaluations. That's it. I truly hope this video helped you understand more about the IEP process. It's important, it's vital to keep in mind you as the parent are part of the IEP team and have a major voice in everything that pertains to your child's education. Be loud, ask questions, advocate, and ensure your child is set up for ultimate success. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing to our channel and sharing this video. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment as it's our mission to help children reach their excellence. We are here to help turn the confusing world, the murky world of special education, into something that makes sense for you. From all of us on the SpecialEdResource.com team, thank you so much for watching this episode of Special Education Decoded.